Ooh, sound on, vision on. So it's the Thursday the 14th of May 2020. Everything's charged up, including me. So yeah, hope everybody's doing okay. Realise I don't do a shout out enough to my sponsors for doing this. Thanks very much, really helps. Essentially pays my internet bill, which is a whole bill off thing, even though I've probably advance spent on various camera equipment and bits and bobs this year, probably for about 2 years or 3 years of Patreon as it stands at the moment. So yes, finally got over I'm over one of the major hurdles of getting the culture up and running, so that's really going to happen. I'd like to do a quick shout out to Direct Current, who's been helping massively with graphic design pretty much since the Urban Agodi started. You know, the logo at the front is his. You know, the K symbol that I managed to use on the first Kulture trailer is his. And he sent a thing when I was talking about the podcast, whether I should wrap myself in a new persona. He was like, you know, just what you're doing. Which was a tremendous ego boost, if nothing else. I'm actually responding to that as an email, so I'm sorry about that. But I will be shortly. So yeah, still waiting for a whole bunch of stuff to arrive from eBay to make the studio a little bit more usable and convenient. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, nothing necessary. So I'm hoping to record the first chunk of a possible podcast. Now, in other news, what was it in other news? Okay, so the studio's like getting there. I don't know what kind of visuals you want for the podcast. But, oh yeah, in other news, the important bit in other news was that Misanthropic Gods of Rant Infamy has kindly given us permission to repost newsreel. So, as the Kulture's official news podcast. But what we're trying to do is generate something that often enough, that's easy enough to produce, that has you know, good production values, good audios and good content. So yeah, so that's the trick, isn't it, to produce enough content. I mean, also in other news, there's someone else in the Discord, and if you want access to the Discord and you're tuning into this, get in touch directly. The email's at the bottom, and the email, you know, there will always be an email at the bottom of my videos. I looked at doing this the other day. So yes, so I want to do an interesting culture podcast. This was sort of propped by Stepjohn, who is taking up running and is already up to running 5k, which took me about 3 or 4 months to get to. Ow. Haven't done that in a while. Just missed that. So yeah, we're still doing all the recording. Let's lock that up. Whew. Well, that wasn't fun. I managed to lose. Ah, there we go. The locking nut. Well, the locking block. I managed to get stung. Oh, let's get that back. Well, so there you go, you get an action shot. I do my own stunt work. I wasn't paying attention, is that? Oh, recording. into some shadow, you might have no sound. Need to get into some shade. No, we've still been recording sound. That's cool. So now I've got an exciting collection of sting nettle stings on my face. But if you can't take a joke, you shouldn't have signed up. And I know I've been going on about the culture for months. It's just that with this sort of thing, there's let's get that out of the way. You know, you got to launch it right. You got to wait till the thing's done. And believe me, someone else is doing it. You know, I would follow on and help to produce that, but there isn't. There's lots of people trying to do stuff, and it's all extremely useful stuff. But it's all within the confines of the system in which we find ourselves. It's designed to have poor unemployed people in. It's designed to have homeless people in. There's a threat to make us work for them. You know, we are really existing in a time of corporate political power. So we need to do this right. You know? At first, you know, if you're going to aim for the king, don't miss. You may never get another shot. And yeah, all the rant stuff was awesome. You know, yes, you know, punk music is awesome, but we need, you know, punk existence or punk politics or punk economics. You know, you need to fix it for as many people as possible in as short a time frame as possible, because we may not have that chance left. So, yeah, there's work to be done. And we need to make it as understandable and as much of an option as we possibly can. Wow, really did fall over then. Yeah, so let's switch this around a bit. So yeah, it's so weird. Everybody in the Rangers Discord and everybody that watches Rangers videos and all that sort of thing, they all know what I look like. But in the main, I don't know what they look like. It's just weird. All that time, 400 videos. I've probably got like 20,000 views on YouTube. So where are they? Where are all these people? You know, we need 1 million of them. Answers on a postcard, please. So yeah, I think I've got a scripted piece, because it does need to be scripted. I've got a scripted piece, written piece, that I want to record, but I don't know what visuals to put with it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it like a walk in the woods, I don't think. Could I piece it together from good bits in the woods? Do I need some other visuals to go with it? You know? I just need like a whole bunch of photographs to get my point across, like a slideshow. You know? It'd be really handy to have some input on this one. Can't do it all myself, I'm just not qualified. So I need to turn to the digital masses and say, come on people, give me some ideas. You know, at this point there are no bad ideas. You know, think about where I am or where you are. Maybe we could get 30 seconds of interesting footage off half a dozen people. I think it'd take about 3 minutes to read it out. You know, because that's about how long people's attention spans are. Probably less than that. Are there any musicians out there that want to help with this? Any people that can shoot footage? You know, it's just really, at this point, the first video, you know, like the first move to create a corporation. And the only way I can see that is by essentially crowdfunding it. And first out of the gate, the first thing we hire is an accountant. First person, first group of people we hire, even if they're not going to do anything. Because the first iteration of the culture would need to be a corporation, figuring out all kinds of stuff. You know? This is not just one particular group that needs looking after. We're not one particular bunch of people that needs stuff doing. I'm not sure I like this. This is not a good thing. How slow the river's moving. Should be moving significantly faster than that, but it's been dammed several stages along, just the bit I walk along, by people that didn't think about ecology. What is that? Yeah. I'll start heading back. This is a short video. I don't want it to be more than about 20 minutes long. So yeah. So I think I have the way of explaining it in as short a time as possible, but I don't have anything visual to go with it. So I don't know. You know? So yeah. Basically we want Star Trek on Earth. You know, we want Starfleet. The sort of people that would go to make up Starfleet, by which I mean geeks. Yeah? Like me. People that aren't going to be prejudiced against anybody that's got the ability to sort of say, ah, that sounds like a good idea. Regardless of age, gender, race, all those usual divisive things, orientation, the works. Doesn't matter. You know. We need to make it an idea, like a really strong idea. I like the design of the logo. I think it's good. In order to do that, you need to understand you're actually locked into the spectacle, the society of the spectacle. You know, it's a trap. We're running around reacting to what other people do, and those people are doing stuff as a reaction to other people doing stuff, but the majority of people are just watching. Okay, now fair enough. That's cool in itself. Lots of innovations, lots of good music, lots of good videos, lots of good stuff. There's lots and lots and lots of good stuff out there. Okay, but we need to start from brass tacks. Take all the good shit and reject all the bad stuff. So, in order to prove that a more ecologically sustainable way of life is possible, we need to build environments in which that way of life is achieved to a degree of comfort that exceeds the majority of the comfort of people elsewhere on Earth. Is at the average level of comfort and improve upon it and then make it sustainable whilst living within society as it exists today. Once we've got a few of those fortress monasteries together, we make sure we try and expand it out and build them in different ways and in different locations. My first recommendation is farms, because, you know, got to be able to provide resources locally. You know, for many tens of thousands of years we've managed that without destroying the environment, and now we can't. So we need somewhere with food, fuel, or at least energy, shelter, entertainment, you know, all the things that humans need. And if we build it in the manner of a corporation and we get each of those fortress monasteries to work towards producing some kind of profit, we can push that profit, we can make it like a non-profit organisation and push all that profit into building more fortress monasteries all over the world. And in that case, in that environment, it's more like a religion. The two most successful models of human organisation are corporations and religions. So yeah, so we need to figure out a balance between those two concepts, hence the whole Church of Service stuff that I've been talking about in other episodes. So we want, you know, we want to work towards a Starfleet style of attitude and living, using the information that we've got around us, turning a profit so we can spread it out. So the first part of that plan, you know, now you know the whole plan. You know, it's not much of a plan, is it? But I think it could work, or at least give people a nicer way to live, you know, in the meantime, before we spread it. You know, it'd be a nice place to live in a fortress monastery. You've got, you know, decent internet access, you've got access to tools, equipment to make things, you know, pretty much make whatever you want. Think about making that in a way that, you know, that profits you, that profits the organisation, so we can build more of them, we can get more people, you know, rescued from, you know, the Matrix type thing. So yeah, it has to exist side by side, has to, you know, obey the law, and it has to obey the rules so it doesn't draw, you know, too much slack from the unsuspecting normal world. So yeah, got to make this happen. You can't declare a revolution, you can't fight a revolution against the powers that be with guns, can't do it with ideology. Probably not a good idea to try doing it solely with religion, although, you know, that kind of pattern recognition kind of locks people in. We can't really do that, otherwise we turn into the Church of Scientology. That'd be bad. We can't call it Starfleet because we'll get sued by CBS. Unless we can figure out a way of buying the Starfleet moniker. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? If we had enough money to buy the right to call ourselves Starfleet. We're not going to manage that. So I went with the culture. As in the other culture. An alternative. You know, we need to, in case any of those smart things turn up, like AIs, deities, aliens, or just smart humans. You know, significantly smarter humans than us. You know, they're probably on the cards at some point. You know, could be that, you know, issues like autism and stuff like that are the, you know, or people that are, you know, have different brain patterns to us, could be the precursors of significantly smarter human beings that are like 0.5% or 1% generally smarter than everybody else. That would be enough. We don't want those people to wipe us out. We want to be friends with AIs, aliens, deities and smart humans. Because they're our, you know, they're our ticket off this rock and our ticket towards survival and undoing all the damage we've done in the 20th century. Mainly in the 20th century. So yeah. So we need green energy. We need, you know, sustainably produced food. We need to change a few things and then put them in an environment where people can come see it. So stage one is kind of a magic figure, and I'd be prepared to accept significantly lower than that figure to start with. But, you know, what I'm aiming for is 1 million potential members of Starfleet or the culture. Just people that go, yep, I am vaguely supportive of this idea. Let us know when we can help. You know? That's why I hit on the idea of a maximum donation. When, as and when there are 1 million people, as and when 1 million people pledge, you know, to support this idea. It's like a kick-started society. You know, I think that right now, with easy access to computer power and cheap access to computer power, computers are so cheap right now. You could be watching this on a phone. You could have bought a 10 quid mobile phone and you could be watching this, you know, on stolen Wi-Fi from a library or a cafe. You know, you could have had access to this video. Obviously there are better, more interesting videos to watch out there on the internet, but you could be watching this video on a £10 mobile phone with free data access at a cafe while you're drinking coffee that's from the other side of the planet. It's amazing. So yeah, the time is now. We've got the concept of kick-starting an idea is about. People could probably get behind it. But I don't want, you know, don't want any money right now. I mean, a bit more Patreon money would be handy, but not from the people that are already very generously given. If you feel like you want to Patreon this and you want to help support this or give me a budget so I can get better equipment, then feel free to do so. But I'm kind of equipped out, you know, and I've got loads of time at the moment because of the coronavirus. This could be the thing that comes out of the coronavirus, or one of the good things. So yeah. But you know, stuff to do. You know, it could be one person's Herculean effort and therefore impossible, and therefore people will try and claim that that one person is a hero, which I'm not. I don't think anybody is. Ooh, now watch this. Okay, nobody's 100% good. Nobody has managed to get through life without doing something that they regret. Everybody does shit that they regret. But maybe we can draw a line under all those petty small things that we've done that we would rather undone, by making a stand and doing something cool. And not cool in the, hey, look at me, as in cool, and this is a cool thing that's happening. You know, we can be part of it. So I don't know how we spread that message. How do we get, you know, goal 1, 1 million views. That's goal 1. Goal 2, if we get like significantly many hundreds of thousands of views on a description of the culture that lasts for no more than a couple of minutes, and say, right, how many of you would pay an hour's pay? You know, or $5. $5 is better. $5 is doable. It's what a cup of coffee can cost you. Or 2 cups of coffee. You just say, right, okay, $5. I wasn't going to spend it on anything good. You know, it's half a pack of cigarettes. It's 1.5 frothy coffees. You know, it's a negligible amount of money. But you need to set a ceiling on how much people can donate, so it doesn't belong to any one person. So yeah, although, you know, it would be handy if someone like Elon Musk went, that's a great idea, here's a chunk of land, or here's some money, get that done. But if we are going to go into space, you know, or if we are going to become a much more livable society, you know, if we are going to replace the governments that are quite happy to murder many thousands of us, you know, for public approval ratings, which is, you know, we're seeing that now. You know, and these are people who clearly work for corporations. You know, the core political is real, it's staring us in the face. We've never had a better example of it. If we're going to replace that, we can't really afford to fight them. You know, the only way you can fight them is with the means that they've set up. You have to defeat them on their ground. You can't be a terrorist, you can't be outspoken, you can't try and topple the government. The only thing you can do is put yourself psychologically in a place where they're not your government anymore. You know, and once billions of people are like, no, we want these guys to run everything, then we can submit selected representatives. You know, one of the jobs of the culture will be to run for local office, you know, wherever it found itself in any significant numbers. You know, it's how, you know, the corporations have got their claws into organised religion and pushed those people into voting for their selected candidates. Look at what happened to Bernie Sanders. Look what happened to, you know, Jeremy Corbyn in this country. You know, these were people that just went, we could do the good thing, you know, the job of government, to look after our people, and they've been destroyed. You know, they couldn't go after them. Those people were perfectly decent human beings. There wasn't much in the way that could be gone after them. You couldn't destroy their reputations. They hadn't done anything evil or bad. You know, they were much better people than I am as people, and they still couldn't get elected, because that sort of shit frightens the fuck out of people that want to be in charge. But they don't want to be in charge because they're best qualified to make everybody's lives better. You know, they want to be in charge because they want to make a shitload of money and tell other people what to do. And I really don't. I would much rather the culture was a thing I could sign up for and just go and live on a monastery. So if Starfleet existed and they invited me along, I wouldn't even pack a bag. You know, I'd quite happily, you know, mop the floors on the lower decks of the Enterprise. I'll be Lister from Red Dwarf on a Starfleet vessel. I don't mind. The thing that's messing me up about looking out at the world is I can't live a life in which I do interesting stuff and I don't hurt other people by dint of me wanting to do interesting stuff. You know, I don't want someone working in a sweatshop on my behalf just so I can be able to afford bits and pieces of electronics or computers. I don't want people dying of starvation or dying of hunger or dying of diseases that they don't need to, just because, you know, I want to live my privileged Western lifestyle. You know, and I don't think me, an ordinary working class bod, is doing any real damage to that. But giant corporations are finding other corporations that will bend the rules or treat people badly in order for, you know, them to make a vast profit in order to produce something cheaply for me but still make a vast profit so they can dominate a market in certain sectors and stuff. I don't think it's right. And I'm forced, you know, in some ways, or I'm presented with limited choices to, you know, even living a basic life. So, you know, I still produce garbage that ends up in landfill. I still, you know, eat food that is produced on a scale that's eventually going to start messing with life on this planet. Yeah. I'm not lost, but I'm also not where I want to be. So yeah, we've got to at least take a shot at it. You know. So, and there must be a million people out there that would consider, you know, doing 3 or 4 hours work a week in exchange for all their living expenses and stuff like that. You know, and then do other things that help create. I'm sure, you know, there's stuff that we can make. We can't be, you know, even or do. There must be stuff that is we can make or do that makes other people's lives easier, that they would be prepared to hand over, you know, money for, to allow us to continue on, turn a profit, and, you know, open up a new culture fortress monastery, you know, with that profit, so that it provides jobs and living space for as many humans as possible. And if you were going to turn into a spacefaring organisation, Don't you want the people that can solve any problem on the fly, that can conceptualize new stuff, think outside the box? Don't you want those people? You know? Don't you want monks of server running around building stuff, cobbling stuff together? So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Hopefully I'll get that mini podcast, that 3 minutes of audio up today. I've just got to tidy it up and write it a bit more sensibly. And yeah, need some help with that. That needs to get out to a lot of people. So put your thinking caps on. And thanks to all the people that have provided useful feedback and helped out. I mean, I know Urban Agoge is just literally about turning yourself into the person that you would like to be, hopefully equipping you with the stuff. I'm going to have to do it all again because I've been depressed, and I think I might have, you know, a certain amount of manic depression because of the cycles I work in. But, you know, I don't think I need medication. But I do need some motivation. I need some feedback on this one. So yeah. What if everybody that watched this took one photograph? Just one photograph that maybe fits in with the idea of things. Don't know. Answers on a postcard or in the comments, that's what they're there for. And yeah. It needs to get there, it needs to be polished, it needs to appeal to a whole bunch of people. And we need that magic chunk of people that would go, in principle, I agree. And I need to motivate humanity. Believe me, I would much rather join an organisation that was going to do that and send them a £5 or $5 than have to come up with a concept. You know, I don't want to be in charge of it. I want to find someone really good to be in charge of it. You know, so until I die or you find someone better. You know. So yeah, let's get a roll on this. People want this change. I can feel it. They want the option. And I don't mean in a middle class way like punk and hippie communes of the 60s and 70s. I mean, yeah, let's get some people. Let's get the best people that we can possibly find to be, you know, part of the team. You know, and I don't ask for this very often, but if you can like this and click on subscribe to Urban Agoge, and if you can go over to the Kulture and subscribe to that, the links below this video, and start building something. Let's get it up and running. You know, the purpose of the machine is to work for people. But we're on a knife edge right now, where machines aren't working for people, really. They're working in the best interests of a very few people, and one of these days they'll decide to stop working for them. So we've got this one shot where we can be friends with the machines and demonstrate that human beings really are worth keeping. Because right now, probably not. We need to aim to be better than we are as a species. But in order to do that, we've got to put the spade in the ground and dig the first hole for the first post to the first fortress monastery. Got to break ground on this soon. So yeah, thanks for watching. Do take care. Where am I going? Who's coming with me? And never get the answer mixed up. Like, I'm going to continue doing this. I'm sure we're all going to continue doing this. But we need to think about how to get just 1 million people worldwide to sign on this idea. You know, 1 million people with a spare £5. We must be able to find that. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.